Everton latest news, the agent of Ndiaye has held discussions with 3 Premier League teams regarding a potential move to Everton. Meanwhile, David Moyes made his opinion on Everton's Iroegbunam unmistakably clear, even without directly mentioning him, and Everton have been given a decisive update regarding Toney, while a firm position on Richarlison has also emerged ahead of the January window. All this and more you can check out now, with the top Everton news, so make sure to like the video and check your subscription, so you don't miss any updates about the Toffees. Alright Everton fan, Everton are getting ready to dip back into the transfer market, and while Moyes will definitely want a few new faces to bulk up the squad, there's also a bit of worry about who might be heading out, and the big fear right now, Ndiaye. The Blues have started the season really well. 18 points from 13 games is usually the kind of form that has you sniffing around Europe, but even with things going right on the pitch, there's still that nagging feeling that one of our top lads could be on the radar of the Premier League giants, and according to reports coming out of France, Ndiaye is exactly that. Footmercato journalist Santiago reckons Manchester City, Liverpool, and Tottenham are all eyeing him up, 3 of the biggest clubs in the league. Of course they've noticed him. How could they not? Ndiaye has been unbelievable this season. The lad's gone up a completely different level. And it's no shock the big boys are sniffing around. All 3 clubs have supposedly made inquiries, and when you look at their situations, it makes sense. Man City haven't nailed down a proper right winger all season, Liverpool are already thinking about life after Salah, and Tottenham, they're always looking to add more firepower. But from an Everton point of view, losing Ndiaye would be a massive blow. He's been our best player so far, no debate. He scored the first ever competitive goal at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, bagged that gorgeous solo goal against Sunderland, and has basically carried the attack at times. With Jack Grealish on one wing and Dewsbury Hall pulling strings behind them, the whole team looks transformed. We're up to 11th after that 1-0 win over Manchester United, and Ndiaye's dribbling is a huge part of why. He creates space, he creates chances, and he gives us something we've been missing for years. If we're serious about pushing for Europe, he's the last player we can afford to lose. My friend Toffee fan, what's the minimum fee you'd accept for Ndiaye if one of the big clubs makes an offer? Share your opinion in the comments below. So Toffee, David Moyes went into that Newcastle match without Idrissa Gana Gueye, and honestly, you could see the difference straight away. After the brilliant win over Manchester United on Monday night, spirits around Everton were sky high. 2 wins on the bounce, good football, good energy, everything felt like it was finally clicking. But those good vibes didn't last long. Newcastle came in, shut us down, and brought that momentum to a halt. Now Moyes has to navigate a really tough run of fixtures, starting with a tricky away trip to Bournemouth. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall got praise for his goal. Fair enough, it was a tidy finish, but the real talking point was Iroegbunam, and you didn't even need Moyes to say his name to know he wasn't happy with the lad's performance. His options are already stretched with suspensions and injuries, and losing Gueye has made it even worse. Gueye is reportedly getting an internal fine for that red card against United, and he was massively missed. Midfield, Moyes spoke to BBC Sport after the game and basically said it all without saying it. We look too open, not as solid as usual. He did give Newcastle credit for their quick passing, but the message was clear, the midfield wasn't right. On Friday, Moyes admitted he might have to use Charlie Alcaraz in midfield, with Dwight McNeil also being considered, and after what we saw against Newcastle, it's hard to imagine Iroegbunam starting again on Tuesday. He was hooked at halftime for a reason. To make things more interesting, Moyes mentioned the possibility of recalling Harrison Armstrong in January, and after that midfield display, that option suddenly looks a lot more tempting. With Merlin roll out until January, Moyes basically has no choice but to turn to Alcaraz or McNeil. The midfield was way too open on Saturday, and Bournemouth can hurt you just as easily if you give them that space. Everton fans were starting to raise expectations after those 2 wins, but another poor result, and we could easily start sliding back down the table. My dear Everton fan, with Roll injured and Gueye suspended, what's the best midfield setup for Everton right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Listen up Everton fan, Everton are gearing up for a busy January because, let's be honest, we badly need more firepower up front. The results lately have been good, but the lack of goals from our actual strikers is still a big worry. Out of our 13 Premier League goals this season, only 1 has come from a centre-forward, and that says it all. To make things even trickier, David Moyes is about to lose our top scorer Ndiaye to the Africa Cup of Nations, so the pressure is on to find someone who can step in and deliver straight away. Earlier this month, it came out that Everton held talks with Toney's camp, but straight away it sounded like a long shot, with a move away from Saudi Arabia being described as extremely unlikely. And now, with January just weeks away, we're hearing even more reasons why a Toney deal won't happen. Alan Myers, who's usually spot on with Everton news, doesn't expect Toney to end up at Goodison or the Hill Dickinson in January, and TalkSport have added to that, saying Al Ahly have no intention of selling him. The only way they'd even consider it is if they landed an elite replacement. Funny enough, their top target before signing Toney was Richarlison, but he turned down a move to Saudi in the summer. Plus, Toney has other complications, including tax issues that make leaving before his 2-year stay in Saudi pretty much impossible. So yeah, not happening. That means Everton will have to look elsewhere, and here's where it gets interesting. Richarlison's name has popped up again. Spurs aren't fully sold on him as their main striker, and even Carlo Ancelotti benched him for Brazil recently. But Richie has responded in typical Richarlison fashion, scoring in 3 straight games against United, Arsenal and PSG. Reports suggest Everton would love to bring him back on loan with an option to buy in the summer, and with 5 Premier League goals already, he suddenly looks like a very realistic and very exciting option for us in January. My friend Toffee fan, do you think bringing Richarlison back is the right move, or should Everton target someone younger and cheaper? Share your opinion in the comments below. Hey Toffee, Everton are now having to cope without Idrissa Gana Gueye in midfield after his bizarre sending off, and the timing honestly couldn't be worse, just when we'd built some real momentum with back-to-back Premier League wins. Losing one of our most important players right before he leaves for AFCON is far from ideal. Gueye's red card has been the big talking point all week, mainly because he was sent off for clashing with his own teammate. Thankfully, Michael Keane has already forgiven him after Gueye apologised in the Old Trafford dressing room, and that massive win over Manchester United has definitely helped calm things down. Still, it looks like he might face an internal punishment on top of the suspension. Reports say David Moyes is expected to have the final say, and according to the Daily Mail, it's now likely that Gueye will have to pay for a team meal as a sort of light-hearted fine. To be fair, considering the situation he put the lads in on Monday night, he's probably getting off lightly. The mood at Finch Farm remains strong though, especially after Keane and Gueye were seen joking about the incident in training. They even staged a little mock boxing match, but the reality is that Gueye will miss the next 3 matches, which leaves Moyes with a real selection headache. With injuries and suspensions piling up, Mark Clattenburg told Everton News he agreed with the red card based on the wording of the rules. And although Everton appealed it, the Mole rejected it pretty quickly. Moyes even questioned what the game is coming to when teammates arguing leads to red cards. Because of all this, Everton are now considering bringing Harrison Armstrong back from his loan at Preston in January. Even though the ideal plan was to let him finish the season in the Championship, it's definitely a headache Moyes could have done without. My dear Everton fan, what's your take? Was Gueye's red card fair or completely ridiculous? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is the Toffees News fan channel and I'll stop here. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. A big hug and see you in the next video.